Franklin D. Roosevelt proudly bore a tattoo image of his family crest. So, if our ancestors and people who made history used tattoos to adorn their bodies, preserve memories, and tell stories, why is it that we are so hesitant to take the same step? Why is it that tattoos are still taboo? The answer? Over time, the reputation of tattooing has been tarnished. And I hate to admit this, but maybe my mom has a point about her Navy men. Sam O'Reilly, a famous tattoo artist in New York, once said, "A sailor without a tattoo is like a ship without grog, not seaworthy." So, over the years, tattoos have become associated with men who like to plunder and enjoy some yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. It's no wonder that we are apprehensive towards them. Don't worry, if you get one, you won't have to wear an eye patch. However, we can breathe a little. Very recently, tattoos are making a slow comeback into our society. Shows like Miami Ink., Tattoo Wars, and LA Ink. illustrate to the masses that tattooing isn't for degenerates and lowlives. Yep, that businessman in Tokyo, that waitress in London, or even that soccer mom in Alabama can watch some of the best tattoo artists on earth, Kat Von D and Ami James, do what they do best: make masterpieces. It doesn't hurt either that mainstream celebrities have opened up their minds and, well, their skin to the prospects of permanent ink. Stars like Angelina Jolie, Scarlett Johansson, and David Beckham have helped inject the acceptance of tattoos into our society. Why is it then that we get angry at our sons and daughters when they come home with an "I heart mom" displayed proudly on their tush? Maybe we should all follow the example of the seemingly stuffy Prince Charles. The British Daily Star reported that when Prince Harry asked to get a tattoo on his stately bottom, Charles bowed his crown-laden head in a blessing. It's even rumored that Charles himself has a tattoo. So, break off those shackles that bind you to the social stereotypes of what people can't and can do, knowing that our ancestors, people that shaped the history of the world, and even members of the British royal family have embraced the art of tattooing. When I, and those of you here today, go to get a new tattoo, hopefully that Xena Warrior Princess High will be a little longer lived. Thank you.
As Barack Obama takes up the mantle as America's 44th president, the world is once again enchanted with the idea of American possibility. In an often acrimonious campaign, Obama presented himself as a regular guy. Yet, he is anything but. From Hillary Clinton to Timothy Geithner, the Harvard-educated president has assembled his cabinet from the most prized and elite members of government. Unfortunately, this cabinet bucks the trend as Americans become dumber and dumber. In 1837, Ralph Waldo Emerson argued that the mind of this country, taught to aim at low objects, eats upon itself. Emerson was prophetic. Long a bastion of its economic success, America's education system has become a neglected cousin of F-22 fighter jets and presidential golf excursions. It has even come to the point where education is often dependent on taxes received from people gambling on the lottery, smoking cigarettes, and chugging beer. We all know encouraging people to wager against unwinnable odds, coat their lungs with tar, and poison their liver is aiming too low and not an effective solution. Just to put things into perspective, the F-22 fighter jet program runs at $65 billion, roughly $20 billion more than the US government allots to the Department of Education. This is a huge concern, and many public schools are struggling to keep themselves afloat. Unfortunately, the funding problem for some public schools has gotten so bad that some teachers have resorted to putting advertisements on their tests and quizzes just to cover the cost of printing. Just imagine, last page of the algebra test, last problem. You almost have it, but suddenly, your eyes are drawn to a scantily clad woman advertising Joe's swimming suits. Please don't tell me that's not distracting. One could blame the lack of funding on the government, but the truth is, the profession of teaching is no longer a noble calling. Being a teacher in a public school entails huge class sizes, disrespectful students, and incompetent administrators. And besides those wonderful things, at a meager salary, the fact that students often drive nicer cars than teachers do, and teachers knowing that their students will never revive the Dead Poets Society or discover the cure for cancer. The result? Teachers sitting comfortably behind their desks, ticking off the days until the arrival of the event that motivated them to become teachers in the first place. June, July, and August. These teachers are contributing to the national dumbness quotient because they must teach what American society dictates. They no longer have time to teach the 3 R's. For example, the TIMSS report, an international mathematics and science study, ranks the United States as substantially lower than their international rivals. Likewise, we don't want to turn out like the 44 million American adults that the book Idiot Nation claims cannot read or write above a 4th grade level. No wonder we are getting dumber. If students would just pick up the newspaper once in a while and read beyond the comics, they would at least be making a feeble attempt to try and educate themselves. As a result, they might be able to locate places like Afghanistan, or any other place America has bombed or invaded for that matter. So, we have felt sorry for teachers and blamed the government. But what about our loving, caring American parents? They may be the most at fault for our dumbing down. Conscientious parents will do everything in their power to ensure that their children are being properly educated. However, this situation is too rare in America. Bill Cosby is very concerned with the American educational system. While addressing a group of citizens at an NAACP dinner, he said, "Some parents would rather spend $500 on basketball shoes for their aspiring Kobe Bryant than purchase Hooked on Phonics. Unless parents get proactive in their child's learning and act as positive role models, the teacher cannot do his or her job." Here is my suggestion for American parents to help their kids make the jump from dumb to dumb-less. Stop being so content with mediocrity. In America, when kids get bad grades, their parents will comfort them, saying, "It's okay, you'll get them next time." But Kev Jumba, a YouTube personality, describes the weight grades carry in the US as a bit like this. An A means awesome. It means you did great. A B means you're doing better than most other students. A C means you're slipping a little bit, and you get the idea. I'm thinking we should try the grading system of our friends in China. Over there, an A doesn't stand for awesome. It stands for average. A B is bad. And if you bring home a C, call a tutor. It means you are doing terrible. These kids will get yelled at, lectured, and probably spanked around a few times. A D stands for death. Their parents will probably threaten to kill them. And then an F. It makes me wonder where the Chinese get their sophisticated torture methods. So, President Obama, I have a proposal for you. The economy is not your #1 priority, nor is closing Guantanamo Bay. It is erasing America's title as a nation of idiots. But if you think I don't have any idea what I'm talking about,